Imagine you're walking through a park and you see a group of people crowding around a small stand. They are all frantically handing over their wallets, their watches, and even their keys to get their hands on a simple red balloon. Wait! It's not just a balloon, one person yells. It's the future. The price only goes up. You watch as the next person pays twice as much. You get a strange feeling in your stomach. You don't need a red balloon, but you don't want to be the only person without one. You don't want to miss out. So, you join the line and empty your pockets. Welcome to the world of economic bubbles. It's a place where logic goes to die, greed takes the wheel, and everyone feels like a genius, right up until the moment they realize they are broke. Today, we're going to understand how these strange and terrifying events happen, and why they seem to repeat, over and over again, from 17th century tulips to the latest internet craze. To do that, we need to visit our old friend Stic on Sticland. The island has recovered from its money printing disaster. The coins have a stable value again, and everyone is back to work creating real wealth. But Stic is still Stic. He's always looking for a shortcut to the good life. One morning, while picking coconuts on the beach, he finds a strange, polished stone. It's not gold, not silver, it's just a nice, unusual-looking rock. He takes it home and shows his friend, Sticina. Wow! She says. That's beautiful. I have never seen anything like it. I'll give you 1 coin for it. Stic agrees. He didn't need the stone, but he likes the coin. Sticina takes the stone and places it in her hut. Word gets around Sticland. Have you seen Sticina's rock? People ask. It's a one-of-a-kind treasure. It must be worth something. Another stickman, let's call him Bill, goes to Sticina. Hey, I will give you 2 coins for that rock, Bill says. Sticina thinks. I paid 1 coin, and now I can have 2. Yes. She sells the stone. Sticina didn't care about the rock, she cared about the 1 coin profit. This is the seed. This is where every bubble begins. It's not a conspiracy, and it's not a scam. It's a fundamental value that seems to be rising. People notice that other people are willing to pay for something new. They aren't lying. Stic is happy because he found a coin. Sticina is happy because she doubled her money. Bill is happy because he has a unique treasure that everyone is talking about. But now, it's not just Bill. The other 8 people on the island see Bill's rock, and they all want to be as smart as Sticina. They want in on the profit. They all go searching for their own unique rock. This is the first lesson of a bubble, it needs a story. The story on Sticland is that these polished stones are rare, beautiful, and the next big thing. It's not just a rock, it's an investment. Soon, the entire island of Sticland is obsessed. It is no longer about whether the rocks are pretty or unique. It is purely about the price. Every single morning, the price of a rock jumps. 2 coins, 5 coins, 10 coins. People are waking up richer every day without doing a single hour of actual work. Bill, who bought that first rock for 2 coins, sells it to someone else for 50. He feels like a financial wizard. He buys a bigger hut and a gold-plated coconut picker. But the irony is that he isn't picking any coconuts. In fact, almost no one is. Why would you sweat in the sun for 1 coin a day when you can just buy a rock in the morning and sell it for a massive profit in the afternoon? This is the second stage of an economic bubble, the mania. In the stage of mania, logic is replaced by a very powerful psychological force called FOMO, or the fear of missing out. Stic sees his neighbors getting rich and he can't stand it. He feels like a loser for still working at the coconut grove. He sees Sticina and Bill talking about their portfolios of stones, and he wants a piece of the action. But there is a problem. The price of a good rock has now hit 100 coins. Stic doesn't have 100 coins. He only has 5 saved up from months of hard labor. This is where the bubble gets its most dangerous fuel, debt, or what investors call leverage. Stic goes to the island's banker. "I need 95 coins, Stic says. "I'll buy this premium stone, its price will hit 200 by next week, and I'll pay you back with interest and still have a huge profit left over." The banker, who is caught up in the same madness, looks at the rising prices and agrees. He gives Stic the coins. Stic buys the rock. On paper, Stic is now a wealthy man. He feels invincible. He even starts thinking about selling his ladder and his hut to buy even more rocks. He thinks, if one rock makes me 100 coins, imagine what 10 rocks will do. But look closely at what is happening to the actual life on Sticland while everyone is busy trading. The coconut groves are overgrown and rotting. The bakery is running low on wood because the woodcutter is too busy looking for shiny pebbles in the riverbed. The economy looks like it is exploding with wealth, but the actual stuff people need to survive, food, tools, shelter, is becoming scarce and very expensive. This is the moment when the bubble becomes completely detached from reality. In economics, we say the intrinsic value of the item has been ignored. A rock is just a rock. Its real value to a person is maybe one coin as a paperweight or a decoration. But in the middle of a bubble, its value is whatever the next person is willing to pay. This leads to the greater fool theory. Deep down, many people on Sticland probably suspect that a common beach rock isn't worth 100 coins. But they don't care about the rock. They just believe there is someone else out there, a greater fool, who is willing to pay 110. As long as there is a line of people waiting to buy, the price keeps rising. Even the governor of Sticland gets involved. He makes a speech about how the stone economy is a new era of prosperity and that the old rules of working and producing no longer apply. He encourages everyone to keep investing. At this point, the bubble is a giant, beautiful, shimmering balloon, stretched so thin you can see right through it. Everyone is a paper millionaire, and the island is filled with investors who haven't produced a single useful thing in weeks. Stic has 3 rocks now, all bought with borrowed money. He is planning his retirement on a private beach. He thinks he is the smartest guy on the island. But a bubble needs a constant flow of new money and new fools to stay inflated. What happens when the last person on the island has finally bought a rock? What happens when there are no more greater fools left to buy into the dream? The air is getting very thin, and the smallest pinprick is about to change everything for Stic and his friends. The sun rises over Sticland just like any other day, but there is a strange, heavy silence in the air. Stic walks to the town square with his most prized rock, expecting to see the usual crowd of buyers shouting and waving their coins. He's ready to sell his rock for 150 coins today. He's already picked out a new, even bigger hut he wants to buy. But when he gets to the square, something is wrong. The crowd is there, but nobody is shouting, "Buy." Everyone is just waiting. A tiny rumor starts to crawl through the line. Someone whispers that the neighboring island doesn't think these rocks are special at all. Someone else mentions that the banker has stopped giving out new loans because he's worried he won't get his money back. Suddenly, the air changes. The confidence that held the whole bubble together begins to evaporate. Stic sees a man at the front of the line offer his rock for 140 coins instead of 150. Then 130. Then 100. Panic is a funny thing. It's exactly like greed, but in reverse, and it moves 10 times faster. Within an hour, the stone economy of Sticland isn't just slowing down, it's falling off a cliff. Stic realizes he needs to sell his rocks right now to pay back the banker. He yells out, "I'll sell my rock for 80 coins. No one moves. 50 coins. Still nothing. By lunchtime, the price hits 10 coins, then 5, and finally, it hits the truth. 1 coin. The price of a simple, pretty paperweight. This is the third and most painful stage of a bubble, the pop. In a matter of hours, all that wealth that the Stic men thought they had has vanished into thin air. But here is the terrifying part: while the wealth is gone, the debt is not. Remember, Stic borrowed 95 coins from the banker to buy that 100-coin rock. Now, he is sitting on a rock worth 1 coin, but he still owes the banker 95. He is officially underwater. He doesn't just have zero money, he has negative money. He has to sell his ladder, his furniture, and even his hut just to pay back a fraction of what he owes. The entire island is in shock. The governor is silent. The investors, who were bragging about their yachts yesterday, are now looking for jobs picking coconuts just so they can afford a single loaf of bread. But because no one was working for weeks, the coconut groves are a mess and the bakery is almost empty. This is what we call a depression. It's the hangover after the wild party of the bubble. It takes months, sometimes years, for the Stics to clean up the mess, pay off their debts, and start producing real things again. So, why does this keep happening? Why didn't the Stics learn from history? Because human nature doesn't change. We are wired to want more for less. We are wired to follow the crowd because we don't want to be left behind. Whether it's tulip bulbs in the 1600s, .com websites in the 90s, or the latest digital trend today, the pattern is always the same. A new story creates a little bit of real value. That value attracts greed. Greed attracts debt. Debt creates a mania where the price has nothing to do with reality. And eventually, gravity wins. The lesson for us is simple but hard to follow. If you see an investment where everyone is getting rich without working, where the price only goes up, and where the story sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Real wealth is built by creating something people actually need. It's built by the baker who makes the bread and the Stic who builds a better ladder. It's slow, it's boring, and it's not nearly as exciting as a skyrocketing stone price. But at the end of the day, when the bubble pops, and it always pops, the only thing left standing will be the people who were actually working. Stic eventually went back to the beach. He didn't look for shiny stones this time. He looked for wood to build a better boat. It took him a long time to pay back the banker, and he never got that gold-plated coconut picker. But he learned that a rock is just a rock, and a shortcut usually leads to a dead end. Don't be the one holding the balloon when it bursts. Focus on the bread, not the bubbles.